Welcome back. Today, I'm going to go ahead and get right into the video. We're going to be doing NFL quarterbacks comparisons as NBA players. We got a quarterback in the NFL. Who are they in the NBA? First up, I'm going to go ahead and get the easy ones out of the way. I got Patrick Mahomes to Steph Curry. This one's pretty easy. Two dudes who really came in and changed the game, Steph Curry came into the NBA. People weren't shooting as many threes. He said, I'm just going to start chucking up threes and start changing how the game is played. We start shooting threes more now. Obviously, there's analytics behind that, but he was kind of that forefront of changing how the game was played, being the guy that everyone looks up to as like a lot of younger generations. And that's Mahomes too. Mahomes is the same thing for the NFL. He came in, started all this off-platform stuff, started kind of changing how people can look at quarterbacks doing stuff that coaches always told them never to do. And just both of these dudes have had great success, multiple championships for both of them. They even are good at golf. Shout out to Mahomes for beating him in the golf tournament with Kelsey and Clay on either side too. But obviously Mahomes is a better golfer, so they both good at their own sports. And Mahomes is obviously the better athlete now. That's all we can say. Next up, we got Tom Brady to LeBron James. Another easy one, both just like goats of our generations. We have Tom Brady, this generation's best football player. He has all the titles, all the stats, everything. LeBron, same thing in the NBA. This generation, I'll talk about this generation, so I'm not even gonna start the Jordan LeBron because that's just gonna a whole tons of chaos I don't need in my life right now. But this generation, he's been that dude with all the titles and stats to kind of solidify as that guy. Next up, we got Lamar Jackson to Joel Embiid. Now, this is personally one of my favorite ones that I came up with. And if you look at it, both dudes won their MVPs. They're both incredible individual players that also play very different than the whole rest of the league. Like Lamar Jackson is one of the most unique quarterbacks we have in the league with his running. Like even you have other running quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts, but he's still such a different player than Jalen Hurts, just how he runs and that kind of stuff. So he's a very unique player who won his MVP in the NFL. And then Joel Embiid, a very unique player due to his size, being able to shoot like he does. A lot of players don't even play in the post anymore. He's in the post shooting like a big man. He's the best shooting big man like of all time. Like this dude, just his shot is beautiful. Very unique player, but, and this is a very big but, neither one of these two dudes has had really good success in the playoffs. I mean, Joel Embiid hasn't made it past the second round. I'm a Sixers fan. I know it hurts, but he hasn't. Lamar Jackson hasn't won more than one playoff game in a season. So, neither these two dudes are incredibly accomplished individuals, but they haven't gotten that team success. And we don't know yet. Can you win with these two dudes at the helm of your team? We don't know yet. Will one of them win a title? Here's a question for the comments. Who's going to win a title first, Lamar Jackson or Joel Embiid? Probably going to be Lamar Jackson, but as a Sixers fan, which hurts. But nonetheless, our next player is going to be Justin Herbert to Luka Doncic. This is an interesting one. Two young guys who analytics communities love. I mean, football analytics guys love Justin Herbert. I mean, his numbers, his passing stats, his ability to play in structure, throw on time. Everyone loves the numbers. Luka, everyone loves the numbers he puts up, the advanced analytics like this guy. I mean, he has a high usage percentage. It's kind of debatable, but Luka, I will give credit, has had more success than Herbert, but neither one of these two dudes has had the success to solidify themselves as like a top dude in the league, where you've had other dudes that have success. Both of these two dudes have the talent to be a top three guy in their respective leagues. Like that, there's no arguing that. Like Herbert has the arm talent, he has a processing capability. He just hasn't done enough to put himself there yet. Luka has all the talent in the world. He has the size, he has the playmaking, he has the scoring, but he just hasn't done enough to really solidify himself above guys like Jokic, Giannis, Steph, and those kind of guys. So they're two dudes who are both on that fringe top three, but they just haven't done enough to put them in there yet. And analyst communities love a lot more than the general consensus. So that's why I have those two dudes. Next up, another one of my favorites, I got Jalen Hurts to Devin Booker. Interesting one. Jalen Hurts just comes off his Super Bowl run. He's not really like exactly what you're looking for in a quarterback. He doesn't have the strongest arm. He doesn't have the greatest processing ability, but dude gets it done. Same thing with Devin Booker. Devin Booker's not the tallest dude. He's not the most athletic dude. He's not this incredible three-point shooter like Steph, but dude gets it done. I mean, Devin Booker was incredible in the playoffs, even in a loss. Jalen Hurts was incredible in the Super Bowl, even in a loss. Two dudes who incredible players on their own, both kind of struggled without great teams around them. Hurts only had 1 year, but they had struggled, snuck into the playoffs. Sorry. And got their ass whooped by the Bucks without a great team around him. Devin Booker had some great performances, but never any team success before having Chris Paul come in to help his team. So like two dudes who excel with a good team around them. They're great individual players, but they need stuff around them. But when you have stuff around them, these are two dudes who could be like top 7 dudes in their league. And they're really debate. Like Hurts can be anywhere from like 3 to 6 in people's quarterback rankings. Devin Booker anywhere from like 4 to 9 in people's rankings. So, two hotly debated, what some people a lot higher, some people a lot lower, but two dudes who just get it done, which is what I love about those two. And then next up, we got Aaron Rodgers to Kevin Durant. Aaron Rodgers, everyone knows, one of the best throwers of the football of all time. If you take out any accolades, success, Super Bowls, anything like that, Rodgers could be potentially your best quarterback of all time, just in terms of talent and like arm strength. You take out success, KD might be one of the best just scorers of all time with his size, his ability to shoot. These are two dudes who really just, they have the talent and skill sets to be one of the greatest of all time, and up with the Brady and LeBron conversation I mentioned earlier. But they just haven't had the success to solidify that. Aaron Rodgers has the one Super Bowl, but he's had a lot of flameouts where like he wins an MVP 13-3 and then loses in the conference championship, and you're just like, wow, he just can't get over that hurdle. He did once, but other than that, KD, he had the one run with that he had the runs with the super teams in Golden State, but like outside of those super teams, it's like, wow, KD just never got it done. He just fell short every time. And it's like I see these dudes in similar light of this incredible talent that just maybe their production and accolades haven't quite lived up to their talents to solidify themselves as top of all time in their sports, but they're still going to be great in their respective sports. Next up, we got an interesting one. We got Josh Allen next. I was like wondering, I'm like, who is Josh Allen? Because he's a hard one. And I settled on Jason Tatum. You look at Josh Allen. Josh Allen is everything you want in a quarterback. He's 6'5", he's a big guy, incredible arm strength, incredible athleticism. Like, there's not much else you would want in terms of physical and athleticism in a quarterback than Josh Allen. You look at Jason Tatum, he's 6'8", 6'9". He's got incredible athleticism, great defense, great length, great shooter. Like, in terms of just talent in a basketball player, he's exactly what you're looking for. He's like the perfect kind of frame and skill set of a basketball player. But both of these dudes just don't show up as they should in these big moments. Allen's made it to some conference championships. Tatum's made it to the finals once. But like, they both just like, when the lights get bright, you don't know which version of them you're going to get. Josh Allen might get blown out by the Bengals in a second round playoff game. Jason Tatum might just shrink in big moments in a lot of games. But at the same time, as they're going to shrink, they're going to have these big moments where Jason Tatum drops 50 in a Game 7 against Philadelphia. You're going to have these big moments where Josh Allen goes out and just destroys teams and scores 2 touchdowns in 40 seconds, get it in a loss against Kansas City. But like, he was incredible in that Kansas City game. So like, two dudes who, incredible talents, but we just don't know if they have that ability to put the team on the back and carry them, which we'll see. Another fun argument of who would win a title first out of those two. Next up, this is more of a mentality comp. It was on the thumbnail. We got Joe Burrow versus Jimmy Butler. Like I said, Joe Burrow is definitely, he's my second best player in the NFL, second best quarterback. I should say. I don't even like ranking cross position players, but second best quarterback in the NFL for me. Whereas Jimmy's, I wouldn't classify him as like a top 5 player normally. But two dudes who just have that dog mentality. When the lights shine brighter, these guys step up higher. That's what these two dudes are like. Joe Burrow, when it comes to clutch moments, Joe Burrow, like, he's literally that guy in the NFL where, like, Joey Cool, he's got all these nicknames, smoking the cigars. He's that mentality of, hey, when the moment get big, he gets big. Then Jimmy Butler, literally, Himmy Butler, man, this dude, when the playoffs step up, I don't care what he did in the regular season, this dude's going to step up to the moment and live up to that and take it to a next level. When the lights get brighter, Jimmy gets higher. These two dudes just have that mentality of stepping up to the plate, and that's why I went with that comp for them. Next up, an interesting one. I kind of went away. I try to keep this mostly to like current dudes. Now, one of these dudes is current, but I'm gonna go Cam Newton with D Rose. I just want to mention these two dudes because it's two dudes who sadly we look back and like, damn, if injuries didn't hit these guys, what could their careers have looked like? Because both of them had their MVP seasons, incredible athletes. I mean, like Cam Newton's one of the best athletes we've seen at the quarterback position of all time. D Rose is one of the best athletes we've seen in the NBA at his peak. Two dudes who Cam Newton had that super rise. His was more of a slower injury, just started each injury started compounding and slowly taking Cam Newton's body down to where he just couldn't do it anymore at the same level he was. Whereas D Rose was more of, he had that one awful injury, then some other small ones compounded and just kind of took him to where he wasn't the same guy either. But two just incredible athletes I wanted to mention that who knows what their career could have looked like otherwise. But that is going to be the point in the video where if you just want some safe comps, there you go. That's your good video. If you get offended easily or pissed off or triggered easily, click off the video because this is where it gets fun. We got Dak Prescott to Paul George. Now you guys are going to say, Paul George is a way better player than Dak, and I don't disagree with you. Paul George, I mean, like we've seen a lot of people say he might be like the best player in the NBA just in terms of like when you look at like size and skill set and athleticism. I mean, PG's up there. Whereas Dak, I wouldn't say it's the same, but like it's two dudes who, when the regular season, you just catch them in any game. I mean, these two dudes look great. Dak puts up great numbers. But these two dudes are just so inconsistent that they're never in that top 5 conversation. Like, Dak has a great regular season, puts up incredible numbers. And then some game he just goes out there and throws like 3 picks. And you're like, what are you doing? And like, he can only put up like 12 or 14 points. I don't remember. It was like 14 or 17 points against the Niners in a playoff game. Like, that's all you could put up. PG, incredible player. But some games you watch PG and he goes playoff P and he's shooting off the sides of the backboards in the bubble. And you're like, bro, what happened to you? But then you turn on another game and PG's dropping 50 a game trying to carry the Clippers to the finals a couple of years ago. And you're like, that's the PG. You're like, that's the Dak that we want. They're so inconsistent, but yet very good. Now, I will give PG has a higher ceiling than Dak when we're talking about just players. Like, Dak doesn't have that ceiling of like a top 3 guy, whereas PG does. But two dudes I thought was just an interesting comp to throw together. This next one, I'm going to give my brief explanation and we're going to move on, okay? If that sounds good. Sounds good. Don't come at me. I'm not trying to do anything weird, but I have to mention it. Deshaun Watson to Kyrie Irving. These are two very different players on the field, on the court versus off the field, off the court. Incredible talents on the field and court. Questionable off the court and off the field. We're going to leave it at that. Next up, we got the one to trigger everyone. I'm going to end it after this one because no one else is going to watch after this if you're a Chris Paul fan, because I'm saying Kirk Cousins is Chris Paul. Listen, these Chris Paul fans are going to come at me. He's the greatest point guard of all time. He's the blah, 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 blah. But listen, you can argue this. You can argue not the same with Kirk. No one ever says he's the best quarterback of all time. But Kirk Cousins is great on a regular season game. Dude can drop 300 yards. Dude can win you games. He's great. CP3, great distributor. He's obviously past his prime, but like even in his prime, like incredible passer. He leads the floor. He can score. He's a really good mid-range shooter. He's got that stuff. But listen, both of these dudes kind of like Dak and PG. The brighter the lights, the more they shrink. When Kirk Cousins has a primetime or a playoff game, he gets knocked out by the Giants. He throws 4 picks. You don't know what you're getting from Kirk. I mean, it's not good. He's got a nickname, Primetime Kirk. Like, you don't want to see this dude on a primetime. Like, I am putting money against Kirk every primetime game he plays. Because he's Kirk Cousins. Like, that's who he is. I hate to say it, but that's who Chris Paul is. People want to argue, but that's who Chris Paul is. When the moment gets big, Chris Paul gets small. He hasn't won a title. He doesn't show up. He gets hurt every game. Like, you just can't trust either one of these two dudes in a big game. I don't trust Chris Paul in a big game. You throw on a random Friday in the regular season. Yeah, I like Chris Paul. He's going to go off. You throw on a game 7. I don't know if he's playing. If he's playing, what's he doing? Is he getting hounded by Jose Alvarado? Like, who knows what he's doing in a big game? Kirk Cousins, you throw Kirk Cousins on a Sunday 11 o'clock game. Yeah, dude could throw for 300 and win a game. I'm not shocked. You throw Kirk Cousins on a 6:30. Sorry, I'm in the Mountain Time zone, but you throw Kirk Cousins in a primetime Sunday night game. Who knows if that dude's throwing 4 picks or not? I don't know. So that's why I think those two dudes are the same. Come at me in the comments. If you give me good reason in the comments why I shouldn't be making that comp, I'll think about agreeing with you. I'm willing to change my opinion. But for now, that's how I feel about it. Let me know other comps you guys had in the comments or any you think I definitely got wrong. I'll see all you Chris Paul haters in the comments. Or Chris Paul lovers, I'll see you in the comments. Chris Paul haters are probably cheering for my video right now. But that's going to be it for this video. Let me know if you guys show likes and comments and stuff on this video. I'll go ahead and make these for other positions too. We can do like receivers, running backs, corners. We can get through some other positions and try and do some other comps. Two guys noticeable that you probably saw on here were Giannis and Trevor Lawrence. I just didn't really know. I couldn't really find one. Trevor Lawrence, I'm like, he's so young. I thought about doing Trevor Lawrence to Anthony Edwards, but I just think that would probably be, if I had to put one, that's who I would say. We'll see. I just don't think it was a great comp. That's why I wasn't in here. And Giannis, I probably would have said Mahomes, but Mahomes is already on here. So maybe Mahomes and Burrow. I don't know. Jokic is another one too that I didn't put on here. Because I was like, Jokic is that dude. He just doesn't care, but he's so good. He kind of looks a little funny when he does it, but he's just so good. I was trying to think of an NFL player that was like that. I don't know. Russell Wilson in his prime, maybe. But like I said, I didn't want to push anything for those two guys. I got to give Jokic his respect for what he did in the playoffs, and I just didn't think there's anyone I could have thrown in here that would have given him the respect he probably deserved. So there you go. I'm going to start hopefully getting some more college football content. I really want to focus on some college football stuff because I just feel like there's not enough college football content out there. I feel like college football should keep growing, especially with NIL. So that's kind of where the focus of my channel is going to be going. I'll still do some NFL stuff, and obviously the college football leads into draft stuff. So that's going to be kind of where you'll see in the future. But like I said, let me know other comps or if you guys want to see me do this for other positions. And anyways, I will see you guys for the next video.